Well, before I let you go, and just very quickly, we know the Democrats are also weighing a partial government shutdown as the far left demands defunding ICE and opposing a funding bill for the Department of Homeland Security until that happens. What would that mean, Stephen, very quickly, for the agents on the ground, for these men and women of ICE?
Well, to be clear, shutting down DHS means that Democrats, radical Democrats, are shutting down Secret Service, they're shutting down ICE, they're shutting down Border Patrol, they're shutting down TSA, they're shutting down the organs of Homeland Security at every single level, waging war against the defense of our nation, against terrorists, against murderers, against criminal cartels. These ICE officers are going out every day facing death threats to remove some of the most violent gangs from this nation. MS-13,
First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakapadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops, the great millstone who teach 100% truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and to the elect. Just your brother Ra'aya, back with another video. And I wanted to grab this part of the video because it was speaking about there's going to be another shutdown, another government shutdown. I believe it said the beginning of February.
Nicaragua, Sinaloa cartel, organizations that would sooner kill you than look at you.
I believe they said the beginning of February. So there's going to be another or the January the 30th is, I guess, the deadline for them to make a decision on what they want to do. So there's going to be another government shutdown. So look, let's see how this will play out, right? Not only is ICE going to be shut down, but the National Guard, all of the security will be shut down. The TSA agents and the airplane, you catching the flight and all that at these airports, that's going to be shut down. Your governmental benefits that you get for the next month will be shut down. Look, man, this is about to go down. And then on top of this, I believe February 3rd is when they're going to start coming after Southern Kingdom, the so-called Haitians, right? Levi. They're going to start coming after them, which you can't differentiate a so-called Haitian from the rest of the tribes, like the rest of the Southern Kingdom tribes, meaning Judah and Benjamin. You can't tell the difference between the Haitian and so-called Black American or African American or so-called Jamaican. You can't tell the difference between them because we look the same, right? So this is about to be we're about to be in the brink of this thing. And I believe, next month is about to get a lot worse. Like we think it's worse. People think it's worse right now. It's about to be way worse than it was this month, next month. And call all Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai for that. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Because the more it get bad in this place, the better it is, because we gonna be about it the quicker we get up out of here. You know what I mean? So this place is coming down, y'all. And like February, I believe they said February 3rd is when they're gonna start attempting to get or deport, so to speak, the so-called Haitians. Now, if ICE and them is all turned off due to the government shutdown, then we might have a little bit more time, right? Depending on how quickly they come to a conclusion with the Democrats. Now, the Democrats is saying that they're going to push for a shutdown because of the things that's going on with ICE. Hold on, let me go back in the video so I can address this.
That's who they're fighting every single day. They're belonging to the future. So they know that if this administration of President Trump is successful,
government shutdown as the far left
political power.
Well, before I let you go, and just very quickly, we know the Democrats are also weighing a partial government shutdown as the far left demands defunding ICE and opposing a funding bill for the Department of Homeland Security until that happens. What would that
Oh wow! So I didn't even catch that. So they're doing it to defund ICE, and um, hold on. Let me go back.
mean, Stephen, very quickly for the agents on the ground, as the far left demands defunding ICE and opposing a funding bill for the Department of Homeland Security until that happens. What would that mean, Stephen, very quickly for the agents on the ground, for these men and women of ICE?
Well, to be clear, shutting down DHS means that Democrats, radical Democrats, are shutting down Secret Service. They're shutting down ICE. They're shutting down Border Patrol. They're shutting down TSA.
And look, how convenient would that be to do when DJT just went and did all this fuckery in all these other countries, right? That would be the perfect time for them to come and strike, right? Oh man. Like, this thing is heating up, y'all. Don't keep your eyes off of this, y'all. I know it's been a lot of repetitive posting on these ICE incidents, but keep posting, keep stay diligent, stay girded up out here because they about to come for all they really all this shit is the politics on them doing fuckery towards us. You know what I mean? Them trying to ultimately take Jacob out of this place. So, you know, this is just the talking stages of it. They already planned their plan out, but this is just their talking stages for you to be conditioned in what you're going to be seeing later on down the line in the next couple of months. So everybody just, stay prayed up, and I'm gonna let this video play out, and then hold on, let me see it. So yeah, I'm gonna let this video play out, and then that's gonna be it, y'all.
They're shutting down the organs of Homeland.
Left demands defunding ICE and opposing a funding bill for the Department of Homeland Security until that happens. What would that mean, Stephen, very quickly for the agents on the ground, for these men and women of ICE?
Well, to be clear, shutting down DHS means that Democrats, radical Democrats, are shutting down Secret Service. They're shutting down ICE. They're shutting down Border Patrol. They're shutting down TSA. They're shutting down the organs of Homeland Security at every single level, waging war against the defense of our nation, against terrorists, against murderers, against criminal cartels. These ICE officers are going out every day facing death threats to remove some of the most violent gangs from this nation. MS-13, Latin Kings, Tren de Aragua, Sinaloa Cartel, organizations that would sooner kill you than look at you. That's who they're fighting every single day. They're being doxxed, tailed, assaulted, harassed, and violently attacked as they're going out to battle the most violent criminal organizations on planet Earth. And Democrats, the Democrat Party, is siding with these criminal organizations. That's how you end up living in a third world country. A third world country is a country where federal law enforcement lives in fear and the criminals are in control. That's what we are facing if Democrats are successful. President Trump will not let that happen.
So, civil war will ensue. And we're going to grab this Isaiah 19. And we're going to get verse 2 and 3. It says, "And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." Now, this city against city is more than likely going to happen as well in the next coming months, because once they start shutting down these cities, when the Insurrection Act, aka martial law, when that comes into play, it's going to be hard for you to get import and export out of the cities. You know how the drivers that we have, they take the goods and they drive them on to your city and all that. It's going to be hard for people entering in and doing the job that they're supposed to do if those jobs aren't already just cut off due to the amount of violence or whatever that's going to pop up in the coming time in the coming months that we're about to enter in. So it's like this city against city. You're not going to be able to get in, and then look, it's the people that's inside the city will be experiencing famines, which eventually they're going to try to go to other cities to take over those cities to get food. Like people are going to be against each other. It's going to be everything going to collapse. Like people from this city going to be against the people from this city because of the water. Like say if the water comes to a halt, right? And the amount of water that they have in the city is in the city, and they have their water, but the next, you know how at the moment, like here in Detroit, right? I believe Flint shares some of our water now due to that water crisis that happened or whatever. Like Flint having some of our water now, if all hell get to breaking loose or things get real scarce, where we gotta keep our resources, Flint will be out of water, which will cause the people from Flint to get stirred up and they'll come and make war with the city of Detroit. You see what I mean? Like things is gonna get like crazy. Things gonna get real heavy. And another example of that is like the state of Texas, right? Although that it's called a state, but it's the states are nothing but big cities. You know what I mean? Because you're a citizen of that state. But say the state of Texas, how we've heard rumors of them wanting to emancipate themselves and create their own country, basically, Texas as its own entity or whatever, right? Say if Texas want to depart from the United States and keep all of the resources that they have inside of Texas to Texas, that's going to cause a super war because the things that Texas have, they export certain goods that's that they make in that area of that land, and the people who they distribute these things to, if they no longer have it, could cause that state to fail, right? And say if Texas is a good producer of oranges or apples or whatever. I'm not giving any specifics. I'm just using the example, y'all. Now, say if they good with bananas or some crazy shit, right? They will, that by them not exporting anything out, it will cause other states to become scarce, and those people will be entering into a famine, which they will try to attempt to mass migrate to the places where they have goods. But if these states are being, you know, martial lawed out, where there's military and everything stopping it, it's just you see the pictures being painted like people. It's gonna be a clash. It's gonna be that Egyptian against Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. It's gonna be that right there. And the fact that they saying that the Democrats are that like they, you can tell that's a Republican station or whatever, but you can tell that they saying that the Democrats are being criminals by trying to shut down the government so that they can stop the forces of ICE. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. So the governing parties, the just as the courts, like the Supreme Court and all that, these are councils and things, right? Where a group of people come together and they decide what's going to happen, right? The Democrats are the same way, because if a Democratic president is made president, or if a Republican president is made president, he has a council of Republicans. he'll create a council of Republicans, a group of Republicans that dictate the matters that he's going to push in the country. So this is what I was trying to say. I guess I was asking the wrong question in this being, but it says, and I was and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. So the fact that, look, the Democrats and the Republicans are just two sides of the same coin, right? And they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards, right? So people are actually putting their faith, which Jake has always done, put their faith in these Democrats and all that. And typically because of the women that ruled their households. But Jake typically goes towards a Democratic Party, and they are going to fail them. They're going to seek to them like, what are we going to do? How are we going to get these things? Just as we just seen in the video, how they were saying that the Democrats was trying to stop ICE from doing this and this and that, right? That's because people are going and looking up to the people that they voted to, which are the idols, the charmers, and the familiar spirits, and the wizards. These are all people that they voted for this party so that these people could, because these people painted them a dream and painted them, you know, a lifestyle that truly they couldn't even they couldn't promise to them. They can't do nothing about what's happening. But because they're all on the same side, they're pushing the agenda. So by them painting this this I guess imaginary lifestyle that they pushing for our people, like the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because most of them are Democrats. You know, that lifestyle that they pushing for them, they're gonna realize that it's about to be destroyed. Like even the way that they see the Democrats, and even the way that the Republicans are seeing the Republicans right now, is being destroyed. And then the fact that I did a video yesterday concerning the Supreme Court and how they're not going to pull up any laws or charges against DJT because he's not going to follow them. And when the public see that he doesn't follow the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the United States, when the government, when the people, the public see that he doesn't even care what they're saying, they're going to realize that he's a complete dictator in this situation, that he's ruling with all power and nobody can take it out of his hands. And that's going to, cause a collapse of their view of the idols, the charmers, and the familiar spirits and the wizards, and that council also, because they're going to be like, well, if nobody can control what he's doing, then what the hell are we looking for y'all to do something for? But I didn't try to make this video that drawn out, y'all. So with that, I'm going to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakapadash. Double honors. Well, shalom, y'all. Salakia, shalom.